So, all right. So tonight, let's play a game. Here's how the game works. You're gonna let us know the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And I got to be honest, I probably should have built this list myself, but I didn't. I stole it from somebody else who lives in a different part of the country, and they care about things that I'm not sure that we care about. But some of them may work, some may not. So we may modify. We may have to say, like, nobody cares about that, but what do you think about this? Okay. So you're going to text that number what you think. You vote. It's going to be like 2 or maybe 3 options. You're going to let us know what you think the greatest of all time this person or thing is.
I think it's a dolphin.
I'm the dolphin?
No, said I think it's a dolphin.
You think it's a dolphin? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Are you ready? All right, cool. Don't forget to let us know if you're here. Here we go. Greatest of all time GOAT vote, NFL quarterback. Do you think it's Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? Let us know. Hit it, Josh.
It's Josh.
Oh, hi, it's Josh. Hi, Josh.
Mom's actually Josh.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
Anne-Marie says B, as in
Brady.
Brady.
Got Brady, Peyton Manning, all the way from Misty, Madison Barnes, Peyton Manning. That's it.
Okay.
No one else has responded.
Okay. Make sure you speak up. They can't hear you. They're a long ways away. Okay. What, do you guys have any votes?
I said Brady.
Brady. Okay.
For sure. Manning.
Oh, fight within the room. Okay.
Josh says Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Well,
all right. Yeah. I mean, it's there is Super Bowls. There's also character, but anyway. Okay. Next.
We got some more actually. Peyton Manning.
What was? Oh, that was from before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Chicken sandwich vote. See, this is one of those like how many of you have been to Chick-fil-A? I don't even.
I don't think I've ever been.
Popeyes.
I think we have a Popeyes.
I don't even know what that is.
Maybe. Anyway, so let's change this one. Let's start with what's too good. We already did Taco Bell, Del Taco. Taco Bell got 0 votes.
McDonald's?
Okay, McDonald's, Burger King?
Yeah.
Okay. I hate to put this in greatest of all time. These are terrible hamburger choices, but okay. How about you let us know what you think the greatest of all time hamburger joint is?
Okay. We've got a few in. People are saying McDonald's and a Chick-fil-A.
Maddie said Chick-fil-A, McDonald's.
Red Robin from Grace.
Nice. Yes.
That's awesome.
I like the whole Red Robin experience. Okay. All right. Hey, take a minute. There's so many people in here. Make sure that you have invited your small group. I would love to buy your small group a pizza. When you guys can get back together, you can celebrate your gathering by, hey, Thad's going to pay for a Five Guys from Maddie.
Check the comments, Dad.
Check the comments. Oh, over here?
Yep.
Yes. Maddie says, I guess I don't watch football. Hi, are you still in Kentucky, Maddie? I don't know. Culvers. Who are the Culvers? I don't know who that is. Okay. Was that the comments I was supposed to check?
Yes.
I don't know. Okay.
We've got In-N-Out burgers.
In-N-Out, yes. I think it's Sonic. Sonic is now in Tri-Cities. There's not an In-N-Out. In-N-Out is kind of like, I think, a California thing. So when I first went to college, all of these California kids were coming up and like, In-N-Out was the best thing ever. And they just like would not stop talking about it. And so finally I went on, I was on some sort of travel group for college, and we went to an In-N-Out burger. And I would say it was pretty good. It wasn't like worth the hype that was up here, like the best thing ever, but it was good. Yeah.
Nice.
For sure. Do you like it? No. Caleb, not a fan?
No.
Iceberg though?
Yeah.
Because they're kind of close, but Iceberg's definitely a lot fresher. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Next one. The GOAT villain. Voldemort or Vader? Or choose your own. Maybe Lucifer? Could it be Satan?
Those are this.
It's a very old Saturday Night Live sketch. Don't worry about it. Dana Carvey, he's the man. Hi, Dana. I'm sure you're watching.
Who's yours?
Of these two,
Yes.
Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely Vader.
for sure.
Oh, Grace says Kylo. We've got a.
Greatest of all time villain is Kylo. Grace, you're grounded.
Okay, we got a Voldemort from Rob or Whitney, maybe.
Whitney. Yeah.
It's Whitney.
Okay. Will you?
Voldemort. Really? Out of.
Earlier tonight in this room, when we were getting ready, you said Vader for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you just changed your mind. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
right.
got the Devil.
Who said the devil?
It's either. I think it's Josh. It's either Josh.
Oh
or
yeah,
Mom.
yeah. Grace says she can say whatever she wants.
Freedom was.
You can. It doesn't mean you're right. Okay. Love the church lady. Yeah. Will isn't that special? Will isn't that special? As a church lady. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next. Greatest of all time vote: condiment, ketchup or ranch?
Ketchup.
I know Nate would say ranch, especially from our fridge over here, like a ranch smoothie with pickle juice and coleslaw and
chocolate sauce, right? Or something?
chocolate sauce,
Gotta
coffee
get
grounds.
Yeah, gotta get that sweet in there.
Yeah, but it had a ranch base, so I'm sure nobody here is going, woo, because you just remember, hey, go back and watch that episode. I think it's TYPM 2. Nate spent about 20 minutes going, yeah, it's
Okay.
good times.
We've got ranch from Maddie, ketchup from Josh.
Cajun ranch.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. I had no idea how to say that.
Yeah.
And
K?
ketchup.
Okay, sure.
Maybe?
Ketchup or catsup? No, that's just weird. I don't know who says that.
Yeah, me neither.
All right. Any other favorite toppings? Okay, next. Game console, PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
Why do you say that?
Because I've never played on a PlayStation and the controllers look really weird.
See, so the PlayStation fanboys, there's one in the back. They really like PlayStation. The controllers they feel are a lot more comfortable. And when Xbox first came out, they were ginormous. I'm seriously, they were ginormous. And they were thinking like, well, we're buying instead of a console that's made overseas by people who are stereotypically smaller, we're going to make an American console for people who are stereotypically larger. And so the controller was seriously like a Frisbee. I mean, it was just ginormous. But anyway, do you still feel that way? You think the controllers are better?
Yeah, but sadly, the PS5 controllers have been leaked and they look like the Xbox controllers.
If you couldn't hear that, apparently PlayStation wants to be Xbox. So there we go.
Well, we've got PS4 from Jonathan. Surprising. Not
PS4, that wasn't the question, but PlayStation. Okay.
got PlayStation from Emily and Xbox from Josh.
Okay. All right.
So it's basically family versus family.
Family versus family, yeah. And I've begged him to get an Xbox so that we can play together, but he doesn't like me, so it's fine. Okay, next. College rivalry. Ohio State versus Michigan or North Carolina versus Duke. Nobody cares. Next.
We actually
Goat vote. Licorice. Red Vines or Twizzlers?
Red Vines.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Red Vines.
I think.
Why?
Well, I'm pretty sure they're the one. Like Twizzlers just taste fake to me.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
No
like,
way.
Oh, really?
What does real licorice taste like?
Oh wow. Okay, we've got question marks from Josh. Eden or Sophia.
Sophia
Red
Eden,
Vines.
yeah. So that
Red
one's Eden, that
Vines.
one's Sophia.
Twizzlers from Sophia. Red Vines from Emily.
I don't know from Whitney. Come on, Whitney. Is it your parents don't let you have candy?
Jonathan.
Red Vines, okay.
Twizzlers from Jonathan. Whitney is Red Vines. Grace is Red Vines in all caps. And Josh is Red Vines.
Okay.
With no space.
Nice. All right. Who knows why? It's a preference thing. Let me see. I think I would say Red Vines. you don't want them like hard. I don't like them rock hard, but I don't like them super soft. And I think Twizzlers is more, you just have this like, okay, this is really soft, but what in the world chemical is in here that makes this like so soft?
Well, that's the other reason I don't like Twizzlers is because I get them on Halloween or whatever, and they're like seriously rock hard.
Oh,
They're gross,
huh.
but they're like that long.
Interesting.
They're the really short ones that are gross.
Okay, sure. Who knew? All right. Next. Okay. Favorite painter. Greatest painter of all time. Vincent van Gogh or Bob Ross?
One also paints your soul.
Which one?
Bob Ross.
Paints your soul?
Uh-huh.
Maddie
With his kind
says
words.
Miguel.
I thought he painted. I thought he painted on happy trees. Painted happy trees.
Mhm.
Yeah, happy little
It makes
trees.
you happy.
Yeah.
Well, Maddie,
Seems like a happy tree kind of guy. Yeah.
Maddie and Jonathan both say Miguel.
Greatest painter of all time. Nice.
Grace says Miguel in all caps.
No way.
Emily says Miguel.
Miguel. Not even a choice here.
And-
Yeah. Okay.
And Josh says your mom.
Perfect. Okay. All right. We've yet to hear from Jonathan's mom tonight, so maybe she's the best painter of all time. Vincent van Gogh from Whitney. All right. Yep. All right. Good. Is there another one?
One more.
One more. Last one. GOAT vote NBA player. LeBron, Jordan. What do you think?
Well, I've seen a documentary on Jordan, and I think he was awesome, but I've never seen LeBron.
You haven't seen a documentary on LeBron?
No.
I wonder what that says. Probably says that he's not worthy of a documentary, but one is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, seriously, LeBron is amazing. It would be awesome to see them play in their prime. That's part of the talk about GOAT stuff, right? Is like prime, who would win? Gosh, I don't know. What do you think, Jonathan? In their prime, who would win?
I don't know.
It's so
One-on-one
hard.
Isn't real basketball, so
What's that?
one-on-one. I mean, you.
Oh, yeah,
one-on-one
sure.
isn't
Yeah.
real.
A purist, like one-on-one.
As far as-
And so that's hard too, because teams, I mean, if you're talking about records, obviously Jordan, but anyway, we're boring the crowd. My vote's definitely Jordan, but mad props to LeBron. And honestly, Kobe should be in that list as well, but yeah. All right.
We've got Jordan from Jonathan. Josh says your mom again.
Funny.
Yeah. Emily says LeBron, and Whitney says Jordan, LeBron, and James.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. All right. Well, that was a short little game this week. Sorry it was so short, but we're trying to make things shorter so we can get in and out of here. So, oh man, good stuff. Man, I was thinking about this. When we first started this, it was so awkward to it was easy for us, I think, in this room to be able to worship, because I think that's how it's designed. But like the separation, when I go back and watch the video or whatever afterwards, it's always kind of hard. But I feel like it is getting easier. Maybe it's just because it becomes more normal. I'm not really sure. I would love to know how you guys feel about that. But I'm so grateful that God gave us that ability to connect with Him emotionally through music, and so grateful for talented musicians. So shout out, Jonathan. Thank you so much, not just for sharing your musical talents, but your heart. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, friends. So we're going to continue the conversation. This is what to do when you don't know what to do. This is the last week. I don't know about you guys. I've really been, I've enjoyed it. I feel like, God knows everything, and He knew that we were going to be in this time. And I'm so grateful that other people worked on this beforehand and were able to give it to us and help us start the conversation. And every week I kind of I think of some examples of yep, that happened this week.
Yeah.
I really appreciated the 5-week Bible study devotional that's in the YouVersion Bible app. Highly encourage that anytime you guys have an opportunity to do that. So we're in week 5, last week of this, and so let me ask you this: have you ever had a time in your life? You guys can answer this too. It's kind of a hard question, so it might take some thought. But have you ever had a time in your life where somebody owed you something and they paid you back? So that's a hard one. Maybe you owed somebody something and you were trying to pay them. You felt like indebted to them. Okay. Or this is the one that kind of resonated with me because I think I have a story that goes along with it. Something that somebody did for you or to you that made you want to pay them back in a good way. Like payback sort of has a really negative, like payback, you immediately think,
Yeah.
punching somebody or chewing them out or whatever. But payback is like you feel like you owe them. And so do you have any stories like that?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them, I think.
Okay.
Well, because like, especially when I was littler, I would like want to get something from the store, like a pack of gum. When I was littler, now it's back like jeans or a pair of shoes or something, and mom will buy it for me, and then I'll have to pay her back for that.
Okay.
Or the other way around, and like Josh or Grace or Will want ice cream, and then I'll get it for them, and they'll give me ice cream
Right.
back or something like
Right.
that. Or the last one, recently Grace did my after-dinner chore for me, and so I don't know if she even knows this. I think she might have found it, but I made her a little card and it was like, I'll do your chore for 5 days, but they can't be 5 days in a row. And it has to be before you go to college.
Nice. Well, I understand this is probably a hard question, but I'd always love to hear from you guys. So let us know if you have a story that you'd like us to share, and just say, don't share, but you just want us to know. I would love that. While you're doing that, or if you're doing that, I have one in the category of somebody did something for me that was really, it really blew me away. Like it stands out to me. So this was like 20 years ago. And I was in college, and it was during a break. Now, when you're at college and there's a break in between, like spring break or fall break or whatever, you're not allowed to stay on campus. You have to go somewhere. Well, I still had a job in Portland, working at a church. And so I was going to work through the break, but I needed a place to stay because I couldn't stay on campus. So I was staying with some friends. Well, they lived out of town a ways. And I'm realizing that my gas tank is on empty. And so I need gas, right? Well, I go to the gas station. I fill up. Yeah, I fill up my car, and at this time it was like that was part of the process. Is you would pay for, when you were done, all of the gas that you put in your gas tank. So I fill up my gas tank, and then I cannot find my wallet.
Oh.
Okay, so now I'm in quite the conundrum, because I have a gas tank full of gas that I cannot pay for, and the proximity to my wallet is like a 20-minute drive out of town, and I'm pretty sure this was pre-cell phone for me. I mean, that's, I know, like ancient history for you guys, but it wasn't like I could just pick up and call somebody, and I wouldn't have known any numbers at the house anyway. So I hat in hand, walk into the gas station attendant, and I tell him my story, and I'm like, what can I do? Like I can start walking, but it's like, miles and miles and miles away. It's going to be forever until I can get back, but it's my fault. It's my mistake. I'm happy to do that, but I'm going to have to leave my car here for a while. And so this guy, he was scared. He wasn't the manager. He was the guy who was running the gas station late at night, so probably, I'm going to guess, low on the totem pole. And he just said, hey man, I trust you. Go get your wallet, come back, and pay me later.
Oh.
And so he allowed me to get in my car and drive away. Now, and that may sound kind of silly to you, but to me, that was a big deal. Like, can you imagine the embarrassment of like, oh my goodness, and it looks like I'm trying to rip you off, but I'm really not. I'm really a good guy, I promise.
Yeah.
And it really that amazed me, really shocked me that he would be so generous. So I drove for 20 minutes, got my stupid wallet that I left like on the window seal or something, drove 20 minutes back, paid him and offered to pay him extra, but he's like, nah, this is just part of my job. And so it's a crazy story. Yeah. Another one, much shorter. When I was in high school, it was towards spring. This might be like bitter now because we're not in school right now. But there was this kid, that kid in school. When I say that kid, don't say their name, but you're thinking of somebody. That kid, okay. That kid in my school, I'm not sure what his name was. I think it was like Tony or Kevin.
Okay, wait.
Something like that.
That kid, the good kid or the bad kid?
The bad kid.
Okay.
Yeah, that kid.
Okay.
That kid. For some people, that probably was like, yeah, I remember that. But anyway, I'm walking between the high school and the church. It was like, I don't know, maybe 10 blocks away. And so I'm walking, and that kid rolls up with some of his friends in a car. And it was like he was in their car. And they were throwing water balloons at people, but they weren't water balloons. They were filled with shaving cream.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, and so they were just out doing that, and I'm walking by, and he reaches out the window and says a bunch of stuff and throws this water balloon filled with shaving cream, and it hits me, but just bounces off. So he gets out of the car and runs over and tries to tackle me and rub it on me. And I'm like in defense mode, and so I jump back, and just as he's starting to throw it, it pops and it just goes all over him, and he's covered in shaving cream. And his friends in the car, they're now just dying, they're just laughing their heads off. And so he's like, oh, he's frustrated, and I'm just starting to back away, not really laughing because I don't want to provoke him, but backing away. And his friends yell, "Hey, dude, you're not getting in my car!" And then they close the door and drive off. And that's what I'm talking about, payback. You're like, yeah, you so deserve that. You thought it was funny for somebody else to get, stranded with shaving cream all over them, but it ended up being the person who did it. And that's the way, don't you wish that's the way the world worked?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I'm pretty grateful that that's not the way it works when you're the jerk, that grace exists. But anyway, anybody share any stories?
No.
Doesn't look like it. That's okay. That's okay. It was a hard question, I know. All right. Well, zero. That's okay. All right. So tonight we're gonna finish up this story on what to do when you don't know what to do, and we've been talking about. Remember?
Is it Joseph?
Joseph.
Okay.
Yeah. I know. There's J's and M's, and somebody today thought that that Noah parted the Red Sea, but that's okay. There's so many stories you get confused. It's okay. Well, I've been enjoying this series. I love I love to say they're all my favorite story. There's some stories in the Bible that are not, they're like, why is this here?
Yeah.
But I enjoy this, and I think part of it is because some of these things you can sort of you can identify with. It's like, wow, that's really hard. Now, hopefully your siblings don't plot to kill you or sell you into slavery. Hopefully you won't get accused of really, really horrible things and thrown in prison. But that's been Joseph's story throughout this time. And so now we lead up tonight and we get to Genesis 45. So throughout this time, I'm talking about payback. Say sometimes when you think of the word payback, if you're anything like me, you think of payback in different ways. You think of, okay, let's think of the negative side. Somebody does something wrong to you. And does your mind ever start to contemplate payback?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I think this is like my go-to when it comes to payback. I don't think I respond very well in the moment, but I can dwell on it for a while.
Me too.
Yeah,
I can definitely dwell.
The scenario here, the one I feel the worst about was I've shared this before. When we were in Portland, somebody robbed my house and just took everything of any value. And I remember kind of fantasizing about what I would do. If I had only come home for lunch that day, if I'd caught him in the house, tie him to a telephone pole and wait for the cops to come get him or something, fantasizing about the kind of payback that I would get on them. So not good, but there's the imaginary payback, right? And then the public payback, that's nice. to think about, oh, I hope that during the pep rally you just kind of fall on your face in front of all of your friends. That'd be funny. Yeah. So there's the public, and then there's the passive payback. What do you think that one is?
I don't know.
Okay. So there's a passiveness that's like, sometimes you might see this in a way of like, oh yes, we're great friends. Yes, I just love you so much. There's a passive, like I really do not like you, and I want to hurt you. And then there's the passive that's like, you don't really know, a frenemy, right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm not really sure if you're really being nice to me, or I kind of think that maybe they're saying some stuff behind my back, but when they're they're so sweet up front, but yeah. So that's the passive one. I feel like there's those three categories when it comes to payback. And tonight we're going to kind of look at what Joseph did. So let's jump into Genesis 45. We already did the summary, and I want to start with verses 1 through 3. So we've got some here. And I sometimes I choose a translation a little bit different than I'm reading from, but it sort of makes your brain engage a little bit more. I know it's a little tricky, but it's very close. So Joseph could stand it no longer. There were many people in the room, and he said to his attendants, "Out, all of you." So he was alone with his brothers when he told them who he was. Then he broke down and he wept so loudly that the Egyptians could hear him. And the word of it quickly carried to Pharaoh's palace. "I am Joseph," he said to his brothers. Is my father still alive?" But his brothers were speechless. They were stunned to realize that Joseph was standing there in front of them. So this is the part where Joseph, he was in jail. He interpreted the dreams. The word eventually got to Pharaoh when he was struggling. And so then he went to Pharaoh, interpreted dreams there, and Pharaoh promoted him to second in command. Again, this is a repeated thing. You went from bottom of a well, slavery, then second in the household, and then prison, bottom of a well, so to speak. And now he's second in command of the country of Egypt. And again, the dreams come back into play, and God blessed him with some dreams. And he basically told Pharaoh, here's how you can avoid this terrible thing. And he came up with a plan to store food, because they knew in advance that some hard times were coming. And that put Egypt in a position to bless a whole bunch, not only their own people, but a whole bunch of other people. Okay. So Joseph's own family is a part of the people who are now, they're suffering in this famine, and they hear that Egypt's going well, and they're actually helping other people. So they travel, and they have a meeting with them, and they don't recognize their brother. And it's very likely that, being second in command, he looked very Egyptian. He probably had robes on, and some of the cultural stuff, and there's a very good chance. Plus, they thought he was dead.
Yeah.
They didn't, obviously they didn't kill him, but they slaves don't last very long, right? You're paid for labor, and that's it. So there's probably the last person that they would have thought of. So he's meeting with them, and they're kind of pleading for some supplies, and that's where this comes in. And it says he could stand it no longer. Can you pull that back up? He could stand it no longer, and the pressure had been building. And so he asked the attendants in the room, his guard and helpers, to leave, and then he made himself known to his brothers. So is the next one there? He wept so loudly that the Egyptians heard him, and Pharaoh's household heard about it. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Is my father still living?" Can you imagine?
Wow.
The shock of he's alive. And then the shock of oh, snap. The guy that we sold into slavery now has our lives in his hands.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Goodness.
I'm thinking payback. In Joseph's seat, I don't know what he thought. I don't know if he spent years thinking about like I would do, if he spent years thinking about, boy, if I ever see my family again, this is what I would do. I'd tie them to a pole and wait for the cops to show up. Right? I don't know if he had years to process whether he would ever see them again. I don't know if because there was this process of time where he was able to be in control of the country, and it's probably nerve-wracking to think like, hey, we're storing up extra grain in this time of wealth, of fruitfulness. To like, will these famines really come? But then they do come, and now the country's going well, and people start traveling. And I wonder if he had time to process. I bet my family's going to show up eventually.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but whatever, like all of that is just guesswork. But what we do know is this happens. They show up, and he's there. And there's some things that happen right before this. Is a really cool story if you guys want to check it in Genesis there. And so in chapter 45, he's just like, he can't hold it in anymore. I'm not really sure why he kicks the attendants out of the room, because he's second in command. Like, what does he care if they know or not?
I was kind of thinking about that when I was reading it the first time, and I was wondering, like, is it possible that the Pharaoh right?
Yeah.
That he might worry that Joseph would leave or something?
Yeah, who knows? It would be us guessing. We don't know. If it doesn't tell us what the motivations were, we just have to guess at what the motivations could have been. But yeah, so really, really interesting. Now, let's see here, verse 7, I believe. Well, let's start with 4. Please come closer, he said to them. So they came closer, and he said again, I'm Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into slavery. But don't be upset and don't be angry with yourselves for selling me to this place, because it was God who sent me here ahead of you to preserve your lives. This famine that has ravaged the land for 2 years will last 5 more years, and there will be neither plowing nor harvest. God has sent me ahead of you to keep you and your families alive and to preserve many survivors. Now, again, I don't know, like maybe, very likely he's just a lot more godly than I am. Maybe he had time to process this, but what a great response. He sees the people, his family, that betrayed him. And I really do think this is true. You guys tell me how you feel about this. I think the people who are closest to you have the greatest capacity to hurt you.
Yes.
And I can only imagine, I can imagine the kind of deep hurt that must have happened in his soul, in his heart, to his core, to have his family betray him. And yet throughout this, we've said that he seemed to have a sense, a connection, a connectedness to God. Maybe that's because he was away from his family. Like, I don't know. But the passage here seems to indicate, it's like, hey guys, I can guess that your immediate thought is like, oh no, he's going to kill us. He's going to pay us back. He says, don't be afraid. God set this up so that I could save the family.
Yeah. I think he probably did think about that for a really long time, if that's the first response he has.
Yeah.
Just immediately.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
How cool.
I'm not going to get you back for what you did.
Yeah. I want to be like that. It's hard, to think, to guess like, oh yeah, I can forgive somebody, and then somebody like really hurts you, and it's hard. And I love how he sets it up, like, you did wrong. He points out, you did this wrong, and it hurt, but I forgive you. Don't worry about it. I got you. That's pretty sweet. All right. Now we're going to jump down and verse 15. Then Joseph kissed each of his brothers, and he wept over them. And after that, he began talking freely with them. This passage, there's so many, like, just please go and read this if you're having troubles knowing where you want to read or whatever. Really, really good stuff. Lots of other things to learn in here. Again, every time you pick up the Bible, it should be telling you who is God, what has he done, who we are, and what we're supposed to do. You can look at everything to kind of learn from the Bible that way. But what I learned from this about God and who he is and who I am and what I'm supposed to do, pretty incredible stuff. So we're gonna shut things down now. We don't know if you're headed out to your small group or not. I hope you are. Text your small group leader. Tell them you love them. They're probably really tired as well. Reach out to your small groups. If you're not in a small group, please text me. I'd love to help connect you to one. But as we close things down, here's kind of the bottom line. Bottom line is when you don't know what to do, pursue peace, not payback. And the idea here is like we're pretty quick to want to be mean, to pay people back for evil, but to pursue peace. We did a series a while back, and it talked about you need to fight for the relationship. And I think especially at home, we're spending a lot of time at home. We know like grumpiness can arise at home, and it's just really easy to kind of get it on each other's nerves, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that today.
Yeah. That can happen really easily, but stay in the fight. I would say your family relationships are super important. And coming from an old dude, you're going to have friends that'll come and go in your lifetime, but your family, they're going to be your family your whole life. And whether that's a good relationship or a bad relationship doesn't really matter. They're going to be your family for your whole life. And so if you're going to have that connectedness to a group of people for your entire life, wouldn't you probably want to have a good relationship?
Probably.
Yeah. And it's hard. I'm telling you, it's hard, but the battle, that's where the battle should be. So fight for the relationship. And yeah. So, hey, I'm going to pray and we'll send you guys out. And we'll like, this is record time. You can rub it in Nate's face. Like 6 minutes ahead of Nate's time. Maybe Nate's the one slowing us down.
Gosh, Nate.
Yeah. He's a talker. He talks too much. Yeah. All right, let's pray. God, thank you for this time. Thank you for the ability to talk about the things that you've done in the past with other people and how that teaches us about you and who you are and what you've done in the past. And it also teaches us about who we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to do. So God, I pray that you would help us to be people that are not like the rest of the world. And when wrong is done, they're just thrown under the bus. God, help us to be people that fight for the relationship. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Before I let you guys go, I just wanted to to finish with this thought. I know every time that I say, hey, you should fight for the relationship, I know that there's no way that I could tell 15 different stories and say, this is your scenario, so this is what you should do. Everybody's scenario is different. And so why I say that is like things are complicated. And so when I say fight for the relationship, there is one principle, and that is God commands Christians to forgive. We have to forgive. And his desire is that we are reunited, but that's not the command. The command is forgive. And then his desire for restoration or for the relationship to get better. And it's really important, and we're not going to dive into all of that now. But as you go to your small groups or talk to other people in your life, really, really helpful for them to help you process what your next step is. Maybe there's something in you that you need forgiveness for that you did. You're on the other side of it. Maybe there's other people in your life that they deserve payback in a good way. You've got people in your life who've been loving you, and you've never really thought, you know what, I should think about payback on the good side. I should do something good to pay them back. There's lots of ways to think about this, so I hope you're encouraged with that this week. Think about how to fight for the relationship, and then take some steps and do it. All right, love you guys. We will see you next time. Bye.